I'll never let go, Donnie.
Trump just asked Congress for an additional $1.5 trillion in defense spending because of the Iran war. This new budget proposal would increase the government's defense spending by more than 40% compared to last year. It would also provide hefty raises between 5 and 7% for all military personnel to help with recruitment and retention, which, by the way, is by design. Because if you look at the cost of living going up dramatically, it makes sense that if the government does nothing to bring down costs, it creates the conditions for people to be desperate enough to have to enlist in the military just to make ends meet and feed their families. This is how they make you fight forever wars on behalf of a country that never loved you back in the first place. On top of that, it increases the funds for the National Nuclear Security Administration by over $3.5 billion because apparently we need more fucking nuclear weapons. The budget also includes billions of dollars for one of Trump's pet projects, Beautifying Washington, which, by the way, if you haven't noticed yet, is for Trump to build this stupid ass ark that he's been trying to memorialize himself with. And it's also enough money to build not only his ballroom, but the underground White House bunker that's gonna be under the fucking ballroom that he told us on Air Force One. And of course, to fund this $1.5 trillion for defense and war, we also have to make cut to woke programs. A $73 billion cut that would primarily affect housing, social services, healthcare, and other domestic programs that the administration has considered woke. Like cutting $4 billion to the low-income home energy assistance program, along with $775 million community service block grant, which aims to reduce poverty and promote self-sufficiency. It also proposes cutting the Environmental Protection Agency funding in half, eliminating a Superfund program that revolves around funding clean water. It also cuts housing programs aimed at helping low-income Americans and people experiencing homelessness, but funnels $5 million into Melania Trump's Foster Youth to Independence initiative that nobody has ever motherfucking heard of. It also includes cuts for both FEMA and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency. So if you have a natural disaster happen to you, good the fuck luck. But wait, there's more. There's also going to be a $5 billion cut to the National Institutes of Health and eliminating several institutes at the Department of Health and Human Services. And finally, he's going to cut an additional $1.4 billion from the IRS. And if you think that's going to help you evade your taxes, think again. That cut is so that the agency is so limited in its capacity that it doesn't have time to go after billionaires who have enough money to fight back legally. This helps billionaires, not us. Oh, and by the way, Trump wants the money to be in defense as much as possible because that's how he can personally make sure that billionaires make more money. And to show you just how much this helps billionaires and not us, the fiscal year budget for 2024 for the Department of Defense was $909.6 billion. Of that amount, $423.3 billion went to defense contracts. According to their own documents, that's about 46% of that money. And those defense contracts almost always go to billionaires like Elon Musk, who gets billions from it. And yet every single time the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, gets audited, it fails. Where the fuck is that money going?
Psalms chapter 10, verse 1 in the NLT. And it reads, O Lord, why do you stand so far away? Why do you hide when I am in trouble? The wicked arrogantly hunt down the poor. Let them be caught in the evil they plan for others. For they brag about their evil desires. They praise the greedy and curse the Lord. The wicked are too proud to seek the Most High, Yahweh. They seem to think that God is dead, yet they succeed in everything they do. They do not see your punishment awaiting them. They snare at all their enemies. This is talking about the white man. They think nothing bad will ever happen to us. We will be free of trouble forever. Their mouths are full of cursing, lies, and threats. Trouble and evil are on the lips of their tongues. They lurk in ambush in the villages, waiting to murder innocent people. They are always searching for helpless victims. Like lions crouched, hiding, they wait to pounce on the helpless. Like hunters, they capture the helpless and drag them away in nets. Their helpless victims are crushed. They fall beneath the strength of the wicked. The wicked think, God isn't watching us. He has closed his eyes and won't even see what we do. Arise, O Lord, punish the wicked, O power. Do not ignore the helpless. Why do the wicked get away with despising the Most High? They think God will never call us to account. But you see through and you see trouble and grief they cause. You take note of it and punish them. The helpless put their trust in you. You defend the orphans. Break the arms of these wicked, evil people. Go after them until the last one is destroyed. The Lord is king forever and ever. The godless nations will vanish from the land. Lord, you know the hopes of the helpless. Right. Surely you will hear their cries and comfort them. That's right, man. You will bring justice to the orphans and the oppressed. That's talking about us, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. So mere people can no longer terrify them. That's right, man. Our salvation is drawing nigh. This devil is going down. All right. And I started off with that Psalms chapter 10. So let's get straight into it.
So what is NASA really up to? I think it's exactly what we had told to us, that Trump quietly signed an executive order declaring that NASA is now a spy agency. They always were a spy agency. What a great way to spy, but from the all-seeing eye in the sky. And the all-seeing eye is that Masonic eye that you see in all of their symbolism between the two pillars. There is an all-seeing eye. We have the 6G rolling out. And what is the 6G? The 6G is the Internet of all things. It is the network upgrade that is going to make it possible, essentially, for them to read your mind. How was the 6G put into place? I'm sure NASA had a big part of that. Putting all these satellites in the sky, putting spyware up where it can look down at us, essentially like that all-seeing eye that we also see on our dollar bill. It just takes a little common sense to question these narratives and go, we're not being fed the straight story. This is theater that we're being shown right now. Definitely going to have to eventually tell everybody that we never went to the moon. It's just too obvious. But then it's going to be like, oh, so this whole time NASA's been a spy agency? No one's going to be okay with that. But we'll be at the time period where it's too late.
More we learn about.
So,
P. Hexif, this one's specially for you. You punk ass rapist bitch. Straight from Iran. Your tattoo covered clown with that cafe ink on your arm. Think you a crusader? Nah, just a drunk infidel in the fake uniform. Chain to kill all Muslims. Wasted in the hotel lobby. Sexual assault settlement in Monterey. Blocked the door, took a phone, paid her off quiet, cause Me Too was on. Now you secretary? What a joke, bro. Cheated on wives, multiple affairs, kids in the mix, family man, hell no. Handsy with women and Fox, drunk on the job, your own team say, yo, this dude toxic. Couldn't even guard Biden's inauguration, your own military said next. Book called American Crusade, dreaming holy war, but reality check. You just a failed vet, turned TV clown, slipping on your own mess. Trump picked you cause you kissed the ring, but wait, funny part ain't coming. The dude you sucking up to for that secretary gig, Trump himself was Bill Clinton's top sucker, giving blue jobs back in the day. Real talk, you out here blowing for access, but he the original BJ Queen. You thought our missiles max 2,000 kilometers? Cute, rookie mistake. We hitting the bow, worshiping Epstein Island crew, the ones who hurt the kids. Revenge for every American soul, you and Trump's dirty crew oppressed and dead. We taking payback for the girls, you broke the wives, you broke the Muslims you hate. Every victim screaming in the dark. Iran got you on the play. You threw everything at us, all your cards, all your might. We still operating on 10% power, laughing while you fight. We see everything, know every secret, every dirty Epstein link you hide. Where you least expected, in the shadows we ride, and no place to slide. This ain't full force, just a warm up. Persian done roasted raw. Iran sending this heat. Feel the math. Drop the mic. Infidel clown.
So what is
Kill that shit. Yeah, man, I just play these videos because, yeah, man, look at how Iran is just, man, they just killing it on these videos against America, man. All right, and I just wanted to play those two real quick. Just, all right, these are our enemies, man. These devils is planning all types of shit in the background. They're getting caught with everything. I wanted to play another one. Check out this one.
Oh my God.
That's Iran coming down.
What's happening? Oh my God.
All right, let's go up here. So yeah, they're saying come closer. They've been putting out videos saying come closer. They want the American army to invade. They're asking for it. And you know, Trump is trying to get out of it. You know, these people are, you know, but Israel is controlling everything, you know what I'm saying? Because they control America. You know? So, hey, World War III, man, there is going to be a draft probably, man, more than likely. America's in debt. Check this one out.
The thing that I think good number of people on the committee are concerned about is just the very, very low level of job creation. If you adjust what has been the trend job creation over the past, let's say, 6 months, if you adjust that for what we think, our staff thinks, is the overstatement due to overcounting, effectively there's zero net job creation.
See, the Lord is destroying this place. Zero net job creation. It ain't nothing. They gonna lock this place down. This place is through, man. Warren Buffett, Part 2, Gold Crash 2026. He said gold ain't nothing. It just sits there. All right, so see, let's listen to him. We can't
$1,000 plus. And the same pattern is forming. Now we're at $4,000 plus, and the same pattern is forming. The fear trade is reaching a crescendo, and when fear becomes consensus, that's when the smart money starts heading for the exits. Let me tell you.
The thing is, man, look at
plus.
these devils, man. The thing is, the Lord is about to destroy these devils, man. And I wanted to get different videos, so like you. Yeah, this one right here.
Warren Buffett's proposal. Congress can't pass a budget. It's official. The federal government is bankrupt. Now, unless you live under a rock, you knew this, but they're admitting it is comforting or perhaps terrifying. Last week, the Department of Treasury released its consolidated financial statements for fiscal 2025, reporting that the federal government has just over $6 trillion in assets, so that's land, buildings, student loans. But according to Treasury, it has nearly $48 trillion of debt, coming to negative $42 trillion net worth, which is roughly $500,000 for a family of four. And getting worse at $2.5 trillion per year. Now, you'll notice $48 trillion of debt is higher than the official national debt, which just crossed $39 trillion 2 weeks ago. Congratulations, Congress. And that is because there's trillions of so-called non-debt liabilities like federal employee pensions or loan guarantees, where government guarantees crony loans since it looks better than writing checks. So Treasury's tally excludes an additional $88 trillion in so-called off-balance sheet debt made up of Social Security, Medicare, and yet more pensions the government has promised to pay and will pay given all of these are politically untouchable. Those went up nearly $10 trillion last year, with Medicare and Social Security shortfalls, which is more than a third of GDP per year. It's worth noting for the 29th year in a row that the GAO, the federal government's auditor, stuck a big disclaimer saying this is only the debt they could find. There could be a lot more. Nobody knows, certainly not the department that's supposed to know. Put it together and it's $136 trillion of debt, just shy of a gazillion, rising by $12 trillion per year. Put differently, 1/3 of everything you made last year, every morning you got up and go to work, it went to taxes. Another third was earmarked for future government spending. You lived on the crumbs. Now, to put this all into concrete numbers, a typical American family makes $80,000 a year, has between $150,000 and $200,000 of regular debt, mortgage, cars, credit cards, and apparently they owe $1.5 million of government debt, rising at $3,000 per month. And of course, that's just the debt Treasury knows about. So as next brought to by iTrust Capital, the war is hogging the headlines at the moment, but behind the scenes, we are headed off a fiscal cliff. They'll borrow as much as they can, apparently $136 trillion so far, to postpone the crash. That day when lenders stop, market interest rates spike to double digits, and we get a financial crisis that makes 2008 look like a picnic. The solution is very easy. Slash federal spending by a couple trillion, maybe hold off on wars for a couple decades, close some Somali leering centers, perhaps even a balanced budget amendment, or my personal favorite, Warren Buffett's proposal that if Congress can't pass a budget, they have to resign and are banned from politics for life. Of course, none of this will happen because for both parties, kicking the can is a lot more fun than slashing Washington. Read the rest with charts and all the gory details at propsandknowledge.com. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.